Good. Good morning. How are you guys this morning? And there's somebody already here. Hello. So I'm just getting organized here. That's the first that I've kind of scheduled the live so that you would know that it was coming on. So make sure you say hello. Thank you for being here. So I'm just trying to get set up here. So we're going to, in this video, we're going to make a fondant telescope. This is really, really simple and really easy. Believe it or not, whenever I was making Dylan's birthday cake, he loves anything to do with astronomy. So hi Gloria, how are you doing? So I decided to make him a little, now was that wet? Give me a wee second. So I decided to make him a fondant telescope. It turned out okay. So I thought I would just show you how I made it. And so this is what, if you fancy having a wee go, this is what you're going to need. I've got some edible silver paste or silver powder. I've got some edible modelling paste or fondant. And I've got my black edible modelling paste. Links in the description will be below. I'm in a bit of a fluster because I had to just quickly jump on here because I'd scheduled it for 12. So everything that I'm using here will be in the description. I also made up some wee templates for you if you need a bit of extra help. The link to that will be in the description as well. So what we're going to do is, first of all, this is one I made earlier. Hi, Donna. So I'm going to just show you quickly how to make the leg. What I done with this was I made these legs a good few hours before, maybe about 3 or 4 hours before it's time to dry. So I'm going to just show you how to do. So to make the legs, I'll just move this out of the way. You're going to use 3 cocktail sticks. Hi, Kelly. You're going to use 3 cocktail sticks, and where are my wire cutters? So what you're going to do, because cocktail sticks are different sizes for wherever it is that you buy them. So in the wee templates, I've left measurements so you'll know what size. But what I'm going to do is, just where you can see that they're narrowing at the bottom, you're going to just trim all 3. Just as they're about to go narrow at the bottom. And then you're just going to keep these pointy bits at the top. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to get our black here. And we're just going to knead that a wee bit. I don't know where anything is here this morning because I'm not very organized. I was too busy trying to get these wee templates sorted out for you in case you needed any help. So we're just going to keep kneading this black. So I'm using modelling paste. You can use this. You can make this with fondant as well, if you prefer. Just wonder, is that wee camera angle okay for you guys? You could use modelling paste if you prefer, or fondant if you prefer, but I'm just using some edible modelling paste here because it's what I have to hand and it's what I prefer using, but it's crumbling here. I might have left this one sitting out here, so I might need to. So what you're going to do, you're going to just knead this into a small ball. Okay. And you're going to roll it out into a snake shape. I'm just going to knead this a wee bit more. Just keep going. So we're going to roll this out into a snake shape like this. And then we're just going to take a cutter and cut a wee bit off it. I might actually need a wee bit more than that off it. So this is going to go into the top of these. This is going to be the thing that secures it all together. So I'm going to make that a wee bit smaller. But like I say, the templates will have all the proper sizes. Okay, so you've got your wee ball and you're just going to give it a wee turn. Like that. And then you're going to just use the pointy side and place your legs inside. So you're going to probably have 2 legs and then a third, kind of like in a triangle, like that. Then you're going to set it up just to make sure it's going to sit properly. You don't want to make it so it's not going to balance. And as long as you're happy with that shape, then you can just leave that to dry a wee bit, okay? So while that's setting, we're going to go ahead and make the actual telescope. So the telescope, we're going to use some white modeling paste. And I should have had all of this organized and ready for you. Again, you're just going to knead this into a ball. And you know, whenever I was making this for Dylan's cake, I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but I just thought, you know, I'll just give it a wee go. And it worked out really well. So you could make this to whatever size you wanted. And you could use even the, you know, the barbecue skewers if you wanted to make it into a bigger one. So now I'm just going to roll this into a snake shape. And this is where I'm going to use the wee template here. So keep rolling. You don't want it to be too thick because telescopes aren't very thick, I suppose. So keep rolling. And I'll just take some of this off. I want to get it nice and thin. Is this behaving? Okay. So, and you want to make sure it's even. You don't want it thick on one side and thinner on the other. I know a lot of these things that I say, they're pretty obvious, but I suppose it's just in case you're a beginner. Okay, so this is for me template for the telescope. I'm just going to make sure it's the right thickness, and then I'm just going to trim it to size as well. Okay, so now what we're going to do with this is we're going to place, you could either place a cocktail stick up the inside of it, or you could place some wire. Because we're kind of short for time, I'm going to place the cocktail stick up the inside because we're going to need it to be good and strong. But if you had time to let that sit, you could just use some wire, or if you're using modeling paste, you could get away without doing either. But just because we're trying to make it all in one go here. Okay. So I'm just going to roll that out again, place that beside it. Okay, it's still the same size. And then we're going to cut these pieces off. So there you go. So now we're going to color this. I'm just going to take this white here, set it over here. So we're going to color this with some silver edible dust. And I'm using this gunmetal color. we're just going to dab the colour on. And I prefer to put the dust on when I've just kneaded it, because I find it goes on nice and shiny when the paste or the fondant is still warm. If you leave that to dry, you'll not have such a nice shiny effect. Okay, so that's our telescope part ready. Now I know this side isn't cut completely straight, but it's okay. We don't need to panic because we're going to put some black over that. So that's our scope part made. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create kind of like a wee lens either side, and we're going to use our black again here. So I'm going to just roll this out into a thick strip. So you're going to have a thick strip at one side and a thinner strip at the other. And I'm just going to cut this wee template here to size. There's some parts of the template then that you would cut out and other parts that you can just... So for the like of the scope, we just used it to measure. But for the like of this part, it's easier if we just cut this wee piece out. And there's wee markers on the templates to show you which ones to cut out and which ones to hold up against. So we're going to use this wee blade cutter again and just cut this rectangle shape. Okay. So this is going to be for the thicker end, and we're going to take a little knife tool here, and we're just going to create some indentations. So I'm just over at this one side, you're going to just place a kind of like an indentation. I hope you can see. I'll show you here. Can you see that okay? So that's for one side. This indentation you're going to place on the inside. So we're going to just put a wee tiny bit of water on this. Not too much. It's just so that it's going to stick. And you're going to take one side of your telescope and you're going to just wrap that around. Now what you could do is wrap it around so you're leaving a little bit of an opening here so that it looks a little bit more realistic. So you're just going to wrap that around like that. That's one side. And we're going to do the same for the other side. So the other side is a thinner strip. We're just going to do the exact same thing. Just going to cut our template. And we already have this wee piece here. So you're going to place this on the opposite side And the difference with this side is you're going to place it neatly around the top. You're not going to have any exposure the way you do at the top of the other piece. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut out a little circle shape to cover this part here. We're going to use our black again. Just roll out another piece. And what I'm going to do is take a wee circle cutter here. Whoops! I knocked everything over. So I've got the measurement of the circle here, but if you have circle cutters, you can just check that that's roughly the same size, and you can use that. Hi, how are you? I can't pronounce your name, sorry. So I have just going to cut that out. And again, a little bit of water. Easy peasy. You're just going to place that over this side here. As you can see, that's going to cover that nicely. So it all just fits together like a jigsaw puzzle. Okay, so now we have our legs. Now these aren't going to be perfectly dry, so I'm going to use the legs that I have already made. But what I'm going to show you is I'm going to put some wee feet on the bottom of this. So you're just going to take a little bit of your modelling paste again and cut it into 3. So 1, 2, 3. You're just going to roll that into a wee ball, 3 wee balls. And then we're going to just stick these on the bottom. Just wet the bottom of your wee stick. And you don't want to muck about with this too much at this stage until this sets, but I just wanted to show you. There's 1. 2. 3. Okay. So there's your little tripod legs. What you could do as well, which is what I've done with this one, is that I went in, I mixed this gunmetal with, you can either mix it with lemon juice or vodka, and it turns into edible paint. And then you can just paint the legs so that they're silver. So what we're going to do, we're going to make another piece for the top of this, and it's going to sit at an angle so that it's going to hold our telescope at an angle. And you're going to just do that with another piece of your, is this going to focus? Another piece of your black. So just take that and roll it into another wee ball. Just going to see. That's kind of a good size. And we're going to take our telescope and we're going to push down at an angle. So I hope you can sort of see what I'm doing. Now, obviously you would do this part when this is dry or when your telescope is dry. I'm just doing this to kind of show you. I'll maybe use this. And I'll show you. So you can see that that's at an angle, the indentation. My new camera can't come quick enough because the lighting leaves a lot to be desired. So now you're going to put some water. Now, ideally, this part would be dry by now. You're going to have this sitting for a while. So it's going to be a lot more secure than it is now. It's a wee bit wobbly. And you're going to place this wee piece that we've made on top. And when you do that, it'll not be, if these are dry and this is dry. Now what you could do here as well is you could take your knife and you could make some indentations just to make it look a bit more realistic. Now, so we're going to wet the top of this. And that is what is going to secure your camera. So take a tiny, tiny, tiny piece of your modeling paste here. And we're going to just push it in the top here. Like so. And then we're going to wet that quite well, this little piece here, because that's kind of going to act like glue. We're going to take a piece of our wire here and we're going to place it down that wee ball and leave a piece poking out. And that's just going to act as an extra layer of security for your scope. So I'll just show you here. Hope you can see what that looks like. Okay. So now we're going to place our telescope on top. Normally, by this stage, hopefully you can see. Is that any better? By this stage, this would be dry and this would be dry. So this is a wee bit risky me doing this now, but it's just to show you what you're going to do. So you maybe leave this for a few hours before you would do this part here. But you're going to just place your scope on top and push down. Okay, so you can see here, yeah, so you can see now, this is the wee one. That's what it's looking like. Is that a bit blurry? That's better there. So now we're going to go ahead and make a few little pieces for the top just to make it look like buttons, or I'm not sure what those things are that are on the top of the telescope. I should know. Okay, so we're going to do that with, so there you go. So you can see, I'll just show you here. But again, you're going to just leave that. You're not going to muck about with it too much. So now we're going to use a little bit more of our wire here. And we're going to place it down the center. And again, that's just another wee layer of security for you. But we're going to add in some levers. So you're going to just take some more black and roll it out. This is going to be rolled out really, really thin. Really, 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 really thin. As thin as you possibly can to make it look quite realistic. So there you go. So we're going to place this tiny wee piece here through this wire. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Oops. This is what happens if you make it when it's too soft. There's our wee piece. So you're going to just push this through the top of your wire. like so. And then we're going to put another wee piece across the top. I have these wee pieces measured out in the templates for you as well, so you'll not need to worry. You're going to place that. Now you could add a wee bit of water on top here. And I'm just lifting it up at the bottom if it's bent in any way. And that's it, guys. That is your Fondant telescope. I'll see if I can get a better angle for you here, guys. So, what's this? It's not great. There you go. And like I say, you could go ahead and paint these wee legs so that they're silver. But how simple was that? So I hope that was helpful for you if you're ever making a fondant telescope. And like I say, everything that I used in this video is in the description. Thank you, Kelly. You always stay for the long haul. So I hope you enjoyed that. I mightn't be on tomorrow at 12 because I'm meeting my dad for lunch, but I'll probably be on later tomorrow. And then Thursday and Friday I'll be on at 12. So I will see you tomorrow at some stage. And good luck with your Fondant telescope. Bye, guys.